Hello everyone, how you all doing? As we all know, the death of 42-year-old gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu has been creating a cosmic size vibration on the Nigerian internet space, as well as other media for sure. But the internet has been buzzing uncontrollably over this issue. But thankfully, we're all posting from remote locations, so none of us are physically in contact with one another. If not, it would have just caused something that would be completely out of control. My name is Tonya Odenna, and if you're just tuning in for the first time ever, welcome. Osinachi Nwachukwu was a pretty popular gospel artist, 42 years old, mother of 4, who died on the 8th of April 2022. Before we talk about her death, let's talk a little bit about her life and the series of events that led to her untimely death. Every single article that I've read about the story and also videos that I've watched so far have one thing in common. They all say that Osinachi was a very peaceful and nice human being. She was a good Christian woman who loved God very much and clearly rendered her voice and talent in service to Him. One important fact to note, however, is that Osinachi had always been a singer way before she met her husband. So she was said to have been going through a series of domestic abuse by her husband, who is Mr. Peter Nwachukwu. Now, Peter Nwachukwu is a 50-something-year-old man. We're not sure the exact age, but we just know he's in his 50s. So, according to report, he actually has no job. He basically just manages his wife's everything. He's like the talent manager, he's the financial manager. He runs the entire management of this woman, and he pretty much handles her entire money, her entire earnings. I mean, everything. So this means that when you call Osinachi to book a gospel gig, her husband, Peter Nwachukwu, will answer the call. So this means that he negotiates the deal, slams the price tag on the deal, and the money gets wired into his account. Oh, wait a second. The money that Osinachi works for hits his account first. Whoa. Boy, this guy must be a serious control freak, because he has had this going on for a really, really long time. I'm also guessing this started shortly after they got married. I mean, this guy obviously did his homework. He already figured that she was going to make a good cash cow, so he quickly nailed her with a marriage proposal. Whoa. Boy doesn't even have to work for the rest of his damn life. So according to Vanguard News, most of which were eyewitness reports by her family members, he not only takes her money, he also abuses her into submission. He physically abuses her into submission. Let me tell you a little something about physical abuse in a relationship. When a guy is beating you up, he knows that you're going to be mad. I mean, you're going to be mad at him, you're going to be crying, you're going to want to leave, you're going to want to break up the relationship. So you know what he does? After beating you up, 10 seconds after beating you up, he will just start begging you. He will start crying and start begging you. Like, he'll be all about tears. Like, he'll even be threatening to commit suicide if you don't take him back. These people are basically dysfunctional people. That's why you need to stay far away from them. Now, I don't know if it's the same thing in a marriage, but I think it should be the same thing. I experienced it in a relationship a long time ago. I've never experienced it in a marriage, so I don't know what domestic abuse feels like, what physical abuse feels like in a marriage. I don't know, but I think it should pretty much be the same thing. So they beat you, they come back 10 seconds after they've given you they've beaten you like blue black hole. It's not like maybe slapped you or something. After they've beaten you you up very, very well, they will not come back and then they just start crying and tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. I swear, I love you too much. I can't take it. And guess another thing. While he's trying to do all that shit, he's even making an effort to even still sleep with you while you're crying. I mean, these people are dysfunctional. See, this is a very psychotic situation. These are very, very psychotic people. So you don't even want to be close to them at all. And some cases I've heard about, they wouldn't necessarily come back to beg you, because at that point you're already on zombie mode. So when you're on zombie mode, you don't beg them. Sorry, they don't beg you. You're the one who comes to beg them even after they've beaten you. They've beaten you into submission. So I think that was the point this woman was at. She was already in a zombie mode. He beats her up. She's still the one who comes to beg him. And even while beating her, he'll still be telling her how he's going to leave her and how she's never going to find another man to even love her the way he does. I mean, he'll be telling you that he's beating you because he loves you and he wants to correct your mistake. Yeah. Hey, domestic violence. Run for your life. Run! So in a Vanguard interview with one of Osinachi's sisters, she recounted one incident that happened when they were on the way, when they were driving to the village for, I believe, Osinachi's father's burial. And they were on the road, I think around the village. Peter Nwachukwu was driving and was obviously overspeeding. So Osinachi asked him to slow down. And you know what this guy did? He responded with a slap. A rude slap. According to her sister, she said she was infuriated. She was furious. From all these accounts, their marriage had gotten to the point where the guy didn't even have any respect or love for her at all. He was basically just sitting in the marriage because she's his cash cow and he needed the money. And the money, he needed to keep collecting the money as he kept rolling in. This guy must be a real guy, man. And come to think of it, like, this dude is Igbo, from my people, from Nnewi people. No offense meant here. I don't want anybody to start taking this personal, but I'm just trying to make some points. Nnewi people particularly love money in a different way. Don't get me wrong, Igbos love money generally. I mean, I love money too. I'm an Igbo woman. I love money. I love money too. But Nnewi people, they have a spectacular kind of love for money. And when they chase that money and the money does not come, hey! If they chase the money and the money does not come, problem. The kind of desperation they would develop, my dear, it can uproot the foundation of a building. Yeah, the desperation now about thunder. So this guy, he's no different. I mean, the guy, he just had to control the flow of cash from his cow, period. He just had to be in control. And I can tell you for free that 90% of their domestic problems were about control of the cash flow. Basically what she could and couldn't have access to. And that's the reason he manipulated her into distancing herself from her family members. Because trust me, in a greater percentage of marriage, your family is your voice of reason and your safety net. And this guy was not going to have that BS ruin his entire plan. He wasn't having it. Nah. I mean, think about it. 50-something-year-old man without his own personal source of income. And, excuse me, you want to come and separate him from his cash cow. It's something worrying your head. It's an akrig. So while Osinachi was going through all that trauma, she couldn't talk to her sisters. She couldn't confide in her sisters. Instead, she switched her confidants to be her friends and her colleagues, because she didn't obviously want to start causing more issues with her husband at home. She also stayed back in the marriage and kept believing that with prayers and fasting, the man was going to change. But you know what? A violent person will always be a violent person until he or she decides and makes the decision to change. It's a personal thing. God is not going to come down from heaven to perform a miracle. Honestly, no one really understands why she decided to remain in that marriage. But everyone is pointing fingers at some very obvious reasons, which are the church, the society, and also the home front. The backlash that was going to come from all these places. According to some doctors' reports, they're saying Osinachi died from the cancer she already has, which probably had spread and got complicated. But her sisters are insisting that her death was a result of blood clot in her chest, which was some injuries sustained from having been kicked by her abusive husband. Even one of Osinachi's sons confirmed this story. Now, one thing that is even more shocking is that Osinachi's husband didn't tell them about Osinachi's death immediately it happened. He waited several hours before he started calling the family members to inform them about her demise. Now, why would a person do that? I mean, that's really, really questionable. Why wouldn't you call the family members of your dead wife immediately it happened? I mean, this is questionable, and it really says a lot without actually saying a lot. I mean, who does that kind of thing? Investigations are going on right now. So people pretty much have their ears to the ground, waiting to hear from the police and also read the autopsy report to actually ascertain the cause of death.